Hello, hello, hello. We are going and are live using our new fancy schmancy software right here from the Aventura Corporate Center. This is my good friend Richard Balfour, who's behind a lot of the stuff going on the website, www.therantnetwork.com, that is being planned and in the process of being deployed. And as we get more and more into this, we're excited, right? How you doing, Bal?
Very excited.
How's the weather in Montreal, Quebec?
Very cold. Very cold. I just finished shoveling the car out, bare hands, because I don't believe in gloves. But, it's not that bad. It's probably -8, so it's like spring-type weather for some folks. At least it's not heavy sleet or, freezing rain or anything like that, which is more dangerous on the roads now.
Well, that's good. That's good. You see, I'm here in South Florida, where the weather is absolutely beautiful. The sun is shining, and to be honest, I'm not jealous. I got to tell you,
I know that. I know. Please rub it in as much as you like. Go ahead.
I wore a polo shirt today with no jacket. You're wearing that heavy sweatshirt over there, all curled up.
Let me tell you can't go outside too long like this. My neighbor across the street, though, he goes out with his T-shirt and all that, but, he's, European, and they have different standards, I guess, when it comes to the cold. Like, I don't understand. Why did my parents leave the Caribbean? You're talking about either in South Florida, which I've been to. No, but it's true. It's true. They'll make you up, banana plants everywhere, coconut trees.
Hey, listen. Don't stereotype the islands with banana plants, okay? I mean, that's not too fair. I'm going to get in trouble for that.
I can actually say that because I do have a picture of me on my great-grandfather's farm out in Diego Martin in Trinidad, and I have a picture of me actually cutting down a banana plant with a big bush on top of my head, too. I got a little bit trimmed down over the years, but let me tell you, that's in my memoirs for memory good times that I had back there in the South.
Oh, listen.
But I like it here. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't have moved to Quebec City. Which I spent, I don't know if you knew this. Yeah, I moved to Quebec City in the early 2000s with my 3 kids. Sold my house here to a good friend of ours from Riverdale, Mr. Corey Poslins.
Oh, Corey Poslins? No way. Corey. Where the hell is
selling our house?
Corey?
What's that?
I know Corey.
Yeah, I've known Corey since West Park at elementary school.
Yeah.
8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
And when we came to selling our house, we were looking because the market was really hot. I bought in 1999. It's a 4-split bungalow on one of the main roads here in Roxborough, and the selling price we got was $109,000. In 5 years, it doubled in value. We were able to sell it for like $230,000. And then we moved to Quebec City, where the houses there were pretty much the same quality of house that you would get here in the West Island. But actually, I would compare where we got the house more to like Côte-des-Neiges, Westmount area, because it's lots of hills and the houses are nice big brick stone. Not this fancy painted on aluminum stuff that I see on houses that they're putting up new over here. But really good solid construction in a good area, and we got that at $110,000. So that was the market there in 5 years, and I don't think ever again we'll see that type of doubling.
Well, I don't know the housing market in Montreal, but anything is possible. But I want now I got you on the line. I get to have some fun. Let's talk. You mentioned kids. You mentioned kids. And what's going on in the world with this education, this forced to be studying from home, can't go to classrooms, can't do anything. Bal, there's bar mitzvahs. No good bar mitzvahs to go have a good drink at. There's no real weddings. Can't have a good party, and doing it on Zoom is just boring as hell. But there's something else going on with kids. When we grew up. I don't know about your parents, but my parents always sort of forced me to want to do something more, Don't be a follower. Don't follow those kids at school. Make your own path. Find your own way. Yeah. And today, I was dealing with my son yesterday, and I can't stop but tell you about this little conversation about sheeps and wolves. Media and schools, they want these kids just to follow along. They want to be sheep. Follow along. Follow along. Don't have your own opinion. Your own opinion is bad. And, I was telling him, I want you to be a wolf. I want you to be able to hunt so you'll eat for the rest of your life. Don't follow along. Just because someone says do something, you need to ask why. So that was a conversation. And, it's sort of, one of these things that just sort of drove me a little bananas in this conversation. I thought I'd tell you about it. I'm trying different views, by the way.
I can understand it driving you bananas, and I feel the exact same sentiment as you do. That the children are not given the choice in the schools to be able to explore their individuality and creativity, and that it's being suppressed. And when you suppress a natural need in an individual, it turns out in lots of different odd behaviors and mannerisms that, if not controlled in time, lead to depression, lack of self-identity, or dependence on drugs, and not just street drugs. But I'm talking about trips to the psychologist.
Oh yeah.
You have your head sorted out, plus the pills and medication. And I know this from my personal experience because I've gone all the way up to the Supreme Court in Quebec to defend the case against my kids, where my children were forced into a regime where they had to believe and think a certain way. And if they didn't follow the line or the rules of the land, essentially they were considered to be not mentally stable, and medication was forced on them through the guise of, your child is having behavioral problems in the classroom, attention deficit disorder, yada, yada, yada. They need to have special services to be able to coach the child and guide them so that they can turn out to be a well-rounded out individual and able to contribute to society. But to do it in a way that, is substantially very sinister, because you're making the parents believe that they're the problem. And that the child is the problem, and that the parents being the problem is that, my child has a mental case problem. So, the trip to the psychologist, and then, unraveling all the family history, and it's a very messy ordeal. And I don't think the teachers take that into consideration each time they're dealing with a student in their classroom that seems to be disruptive. Because at the same time, these children absorb information very quickly. And unfortunately, the teachers of the older generation have a very difficult time adapting to change. And this is evident in that, look, it's already 2021, and people are feeling very uncomfortable with having to do things online or use a computer to be able to communicate and to store your information and for the rest of everything, but to do it in a digital format where it's no longer paper and pencil. And these teachers, they are mostly there at the end of the day just to collect a paycheck, because they're too afraid to go talk to the school board the book, then no, that's bad. And taking away arts and taking away creative. Like that, and not being able to absorb any information. And I know this because I've had this done to me many a time in school. As a child, I'm not going to say I was a troubled child, but I just had a very vivid, wild imagination, and you need to feed that. And fortunately, I came from a background where my parents were very well-grounded individuals. My mother, top of her class in studies, ended up being accepted into McGill to teach languages, and my father, broadcast engineer with a well-known broadcast company here for many years. So, the mental illness problem wasn't the issue. It's the issue that the schools are too of the student or child, And you can't use a cookie cutter solution to solve a problem when, you have to be a little bit more encompassing. And hopefully, Stuart, what you've done, doing this live broadcast and setting up the Rant network and the like, I hope, hang on a second. Equipment trouble. I certainly hope that you'll be able to carry this freedom of speech so that people won't be afraid to cower in a corner or to be able to express themselves, to say exactly what's going on in their mind, that they'll be able to be free to live in fear.
Well, Rich, look, Balfour, I've known you since I was a kid from West Park, and you're a very talented guy with instruments and design, and I appreciate it. And this is going to take a real village. This isn't going to happen all by myself. David Solomon and I are going to throw in this towel hardcore and try and make this happen. But it's going to take an entire village to make this a success. And it's like people like you that are going to believe in the concept. And hopefully that concept will continue to be true, may take on a life of its own. So, I just wanted to go live. I wanted to, basically show people what can be done, and experimenting with all of these different software platforms just gives us the ability to know.
This is like a dream world for me, Stuart. Like, I never in my life thought that, this early in my lifetime, that we would have, technology that you would find like in most media stations at home. I mean, the quality of the equipment. Like, I just spent, not to be, a modest sum of money, like, a few $100s for a bulk mixer, another maybe $1,500 for a computer. But back in the day, you spent at least $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on stuff just to get mediocre quality. And here we are with like a budget of about maybe somebody who's really interested. Under $2,000, you can have something that, like, will carry you 10 years, into whatever type of projects you want to do, artistically, visually, design, software tools like Photoshop and effects. And, this is great when you get kids involved in this, because I have my little grandchildren that were stepchildren that watch all these shows on YouTube about how these kids, do these songs, and it's family involved, and they have YouTube channels, and it's very successful, very popular for them. But it's not about the money. It's about, hey, we love being creative, and we love ideas that make people smile and laugh, and we want to share that. And to see them creatively put that together, it's like, wow, you know what? To see that happen here, I know that most classrooms and schools, the teachers do not have that same mindset where they're just letting the children be.
Yeah.
There's got to be a time, you have to have strict guidelines for them, but at the same time, you have to make sure you give them time to just be and let them explore, let them make mistakes, let them have fun. And that way, when there's not so many rules, it'll just come naturally to them. And that's just what I found. Like, when you talk about we having to be like a local village and be able to have, concerted effort to be able to get people, the right kind of people in the right direction. It's just like, we're the orchestra, the chef orchestras, and we have different people with different voices, different instruments that they play. So, we have David that you mentioned online. I'm sure there's other people that I can't think of right now. But each one of us have a different talent that we can contribute from our local village that we have here. And albeit you're down in Sunnyside, Florida, for me, you might as well just be right across Sources Boulevard. As far as I'm concerned,
100%.
Online, I'll just drop over to your house and, hey, let's go over to Starbucks or something, grab a coffee or whatever.
My coffee's in hand. It's my coffee's in my hand.
It's not coffee for me. It's tea. It's in here. Well,
yeah, but I got gray hair, Val.
Earl Grey.
Yeah, Earl Grey. I love it.
I just finished dyeing. Yeah, I just finished dyeing mine. Just for the hell of it. But,
well, look, Val. This is going to be A lot of fun. David Solomon and I are going to try and play around maybe tomorrow lunchtime, which of course I'll ping you in on and try and see if we can get more people just to come on in. And I think that once we get everything tied in together, like for example, we're waiting for YouTube to give us the all clear for live podcasting, which is still kind of annoying. You know, people want to censor this. They don't want to allow the freedom of doing what we want. I mean, this is basically creating a TV network without having to deal with any regulatory oversight. This is my opinion. This is your opinion. You know, I can choose to keep you on or get you off. Yeah, you know, this is really, really one of those things. By the way, I forgot to tell you, we're actually podcasting on Twitch as well, and on Twitch. We're on Twitch. You know, there we are, the Twitch thing. I sent that directly. I think we're currently live on Periscope. There's that link. And we're being pushed out on all the pages, I think, live. But I'm not sure. So it's going to take a few double checks. Yeah, I mean, listen.
You know what, Stuart? You cannot suppress the truth.
No, you can't.
No matter what technology you have, no matter what human social system you try to construct to suppress people from being it's like gardening, right? It's impossible to garden without having all sorts of different types of seeds just blow into your yard, and then you end up having to pull this out, or maybe you plant this or whatever. But, you know, to go and use a pesticide to wipe out everything, you know, eventually that's not how nature works. So the truth will always come out by any means, and people like you and myself are those seeds. Seeds of growth to help the greater need. Because it's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the greater need. It's about our community, the people that we love and we care about, and that we see having to go through cognitive dissonance every day when they're, hey, you know, news says this, but my gut feeling tells me that. Or, you know, how come the news flip-flops like this, you know, and then flip-flops here, flip-flops there. And, you know, we want to sell that mess so that, you know, you wake up in the morning, get a nice big smile. You know, hey, I've got a plan for the day. You know, I've got the news that I need to get me going so that when I get to bed at night, it's a peaceful night's rest. And the cycle continues. And that's what we're doing for our community and for anyone else who wants to chime in.
Yeah, we'll just say it. We'll just leave it at that. I'm going to say goodbye live. This has been 18 minutes, been an enduring little quick listen. So if you've seen part of this podcast or listened to the entirety, I thank you. On behalf of everyone at the Rant Network and my good buddy Richard Balfour at Bal Media, I just want to say be safe. I'll talk to you soon.